Hello again, YouTube. It is me, Ariel, and we're talking about herbs again this week. This week we're going to talk about how to make a healing salve, and I'm going to show you that whole process. And in fact, I have it in my hands. It is a big old solid hunk of green wax-like material. What is a healing salve? A healing salve, or salve in general, is an oil and wax-based product that is solid at room temperature that heals and protects your skin. The chapstick that you wear is actually a salve. I love making salves because it's fairly easy to do. The ingredients aren't hard to come across, online at least, and I personally save a lot of money making my own products like this because this would be a lot more than the ingredients that I spent it on. But even if you're not a cheap bitch like me, you can benefit from knowing how to make your own bath and body products. I am once again on a wild goose chase, and today I am looking for some comfrey. I'm in the car, as you can see, and I am about to get some coffee because I slept funny on my neck and I am so tired. But I hope that today will be a fruitful adventure. I'm going to a place that we call Swamp Park to look for some comfrey because I need to make a healing salve for my poor chicken's feet because they have a mite infestation on their feet. So I'm hoping that in this swampy environment that I can find comfrey, which is a water-loving weed, and I'm gonna harvest the leaves, and yeah, wish me luck. I am at the park and I have my coffee and it's looking beautiful and swampy, so I hope that we will find the comfrey. And if we don't find the comfrey, we can at least get some plantain, which is another ingredient in our healing salve. I also have my handy dandy plastic bag. It is just a clean Ziploc bag that I scrunched up. Normally I like to harvest plants in like paper bags or even directly in jars, but because I'm going to be processing this salve immediately, I will just put the comfrey leaves and or plantain leaves in the plastic bag because it's not going to hang out there too long. We don't have to worry about like plastic toxins or any of those things because we're not going to be applying heat to the herbs in the plastic or drying them in that. We're just going to be keeping the herbs in the plastic temporarily, and you know, we just shouldn't trip about that. I'm in the park and I'm looking at all the swampy areas. My camera's always shaky. I walked all the way through the park and I found no comfrey, but that is okay because I have just spotted some broadleaf plantain. That is this little plant with the round leaves. You have probably seen it in your yard, in your garden, on the street, randomly. It is everywhere. And just a bit farther away from the broadleaf plantain, we have the narrow lanceleaf plantain, and it works exactly the same, and I was able to get a pretty big handful of it. And you can just see me harvesting it. I am just picking it with my hands and putting it in my handy dandy plastic bag. I'm a bit bummed out that I didn't find comfrey, and I even drove around the neighborhood looking for it later, but found none. But that's okay because we bought some on Amazon. We bought a comfrey oil, and so we will just be using that. This is way more plantain than I would have been able to collect in my yard, so I'm happy, and this trip was definitely not a waste because I got to go down a giant slide. Here is my plantain leaf, and here is my crock pot. I am putting the plantain leaf in the crock pot. The crock pot may look dirty, but I assure you it is clean enough. This is just a tiny bit of olive oil, and I'm going to pour it over the plantain leaf. Obviously, I don't have enough olive oil to make this preparation, so right after this, I went to the store to buy a whole bottle more of olive oil, and I believe I used about 2 cups of olive oil total. Here is the pound of beeswax I ordered online. And here's the comfrey oil that I also ordered online. It is from New Zealand, and you can see the ingredients. It is just comfrey leaf chopped up and macerated in sunflower oil. Here is a calendula that I grew last year and dried. I'm going to be using about a handful of it and just putting it with the plantain leaf. Like plantain and comfrey, it has intense skin healing properties. These herbs work together to heal the skin, with plantain moistening the upper part of the skin, calendula tightening it, and comfrey healing it on a very deep level and preventing more infections. After cooking overnight in the crock pot for about 12 hours, the olive oil and herbal concoction is ready to be strained out. I am just using my tea strainer and a Pyrex mug. It is very easy. You can do this, anyone can do this. And as you can see, the olive oil has turned a beautiful, weird, bright green color. And this is taking a while, obviously, because I'm straining out oil, but we will yield about 2 cups, which is pretty much the amount of oil that we put in. And sometimes, when I'm pressing out herbs, I like to give them a little squish, not shown, and that gets every ounce of oil out. Of course, do this with clean hands. I took my infused oil to the stove where I poured 1 cup of the 2 cups into a non-stick pan. I only used 1 cup because I wanted to make a smaller batch, and now I'm putting some beeswax in. I am also doing 1 cup of the beeswax, so we can have a 1 cup to 1 cup ratio. And it's funny, as I am showing you my dirty kitchen and pouring this over into the pan, I got this really weird angle of my face, so enjoy that. Anyway, we're going to pour the beeswax into the pan, and we have it on the lowest of low settings on our stove, and so this beeswax should melt pretty quickly, but I'm going to keep an eye on it because nobody wants burned beeswax, because then I would have a pan that is no longer usable. And the beeswax came in these really nice pellets. You can also get beeswax in like bar form. These are easy to use, so I like the pellets, but it doesn't really matter if beeswax is beeswax as long as it's real, right? And you can see that I am stirring it up a lot, and it is kind of flaking away and melting like ice, and soon it will be indistinguishable. I don't know why this is so fascinating, but it's like a form of meditation, watching the beeswax melt, and now I just got this real thick, syrupy oil. Not shown is when I poured this beautiful salve into its jar, but this is what it looked like when I was putting it in the fridge and it was starting to solidify from the bottom, because as I've said before, salves are solid at room temperature because of the nature of the wax and the oil, and it's a beautiful golden color. This salve is cool and solid and ready to use. So this is what my salve looks like. As you can see, it's very smooth, and I've already poked some holes in it with my nails because that's how I am. You can see me put it on my skin. It leaves kind of a shine behind. What I love about this healing salve is that it doesn't leave a greasy layer after it, which can irritate me about some like lotions and salves. This was a 1-to-1 ratio of wax and oil, and it makes a very hard product because of the high wax concentration. So if you wanted to make a softer and more liquidy salve, you would simply increase the oil. There were no water products, so I know it will keep really well. If I keep this salve in the dark and don't let any moisture or anything in, it can actually keep for up to a year or 2. Hopefully I'll use it all before then, but we'll see. I am making this healing salve for my chickens, especially my sweet little hen who just had babies last week. She has been sitting on these eggs for a month straight, and so her feet got a mite infestation, and we treated her feet with some intense herbal formula that will kill all the bugs, and then the purpose of this is to heal the skin. And so it has skin healing herbs, which are calendula, comfrey, and plantain, and those will get into her scales on her feet and tell the skin to make new tissue and protect itself, and then the wax part of the salve will actually protect it from any future mite invasions. While I would love to film that for you, I feel like that would be a big old mess, me wrangling a chicken and putting salve on her feet and trying to have a camera angle. I'm not good at that stuff yet, but here are some clips of our chicks that were just born, and hopefully that will be a more pleasant sight for you to see. This stuff is legit, and my chickens will hopefully appreciate the lengths that I'm going to protect their poor little feet. Well, thank you guys for watching this video all the way through. I post videos every week, usually on a Friday. I say that to buy myself time. Anyway, let me know what videos that you would like to request, and I will see you next week. Bye!